2 1 2 check. Check 1 2. We live 1 2 3. Campaign show live Friday, April 25th. Friday night live campaign show. You see the title: Malcolm X never renounced Master FARD Muhammad as Allah in a person, right? And this is after he left. After he left to Mecca. Malcolm X never renounced Master W.D. FARD, as he, so affectionately and lovingly and powerfully called him, for 12 whole years. 12 years. And he said, of course, this is what made him as great and successful and world renowned as he became. It was because of the 12 years of representing, believing, and knowing, as we're going to play shortly. I have always known that Master W.D. FARD is Allah. So we're going to play that, in about 50 seconds. But we want to let the people come on in. Wrench Mob, Adrian X, first up, salute. Wrench Mob, Big Adrian, salute. Blacktastic 68, Walaikum Salam, Safi Ali, Peace Gods in the Flesh, exactly. Jamila, Walaikum Salam, George Allen, Walaikum Salam. R.A. Music, peace. Come on in. If y'all don't mind, hit the little like button on the way in so we can get the little algorithm up so we can get a lot of people on here, because we want opposing views. We want opponents. So please share this. Hit the like button and share this with somebody that you know that disbelieves this. With those that look at Malcolm X or looked at Malcolm X as the greatest leader that we ever had, and especially, certainly, they believe he was the greatest speaker, the greatest black public speaker of all time among us. Many people believe that, man. Not saying that they're necessarily wrong, but he says that he became so great because of his belief and his knowledge, his knowing that Master W.D. FARD is Allah, his God. Malcolm X is a Muslim. He was a Muslim. He was not a Pan-Africanist or a black nationalist. He was not a political figure. He was a spiritual Muslim. He was a Muslim representing a Muslim God and a Muslim theology of God, whom he said came from his Allah, which was a human being named Master W.D. FARD. So we want to get that established, and we want to ask the question or make the statement that Malcolm X never renounced Master W.D. FARD as Allah after he came back from Mecca or whatever. That never happened. And we're going to show the receipts, and we're going to show the deceptive intelligence and the deceptive agenda and media spin of people that say, even AI overview, people that said he did renounce Master W.D. FARD as Allah. Now, we know what he said about Elijah Muhammad, but he never renounced Master W.D. FARD Muhammad as Allah. He never said that. And but let's look at it. Let's check it out. Ike Turner, we'll get to all of that, or Ike not Turner, and we definitely gonna get to that. But you already know my rules over here. Any comments that y'all type, I want y'all to get on the live and say it with me. But some of these I'm gonna read without putting that pressure on y'all, because I want y'all to challenge me, because that's gonna be content. So let's listen to this and get to it.
I've always known that Master W.D. FARD is Allah. I believe that Master W.D. FARD is Allah, and I believe that you are his messenger. I believe that your program is right, and I believe that your teachings are right, and that it was my belief in this that made me as successful as I was. Especially, it was my firm belief in this that enabled me to stand up in the face of all opposition on television, on radio, before colleges, and before people out in the street at mass rallies, and support your program and present your program and represent your program. It was my faith in it that enabled me to represent it.
So y'all know by now that this was an audio message that he made to his teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he was in bad standing. And it was long. It was much longer than that. I'm not going to play the other stuff because it gets into real personal, sensitive details and subject matter that we're not going to go into regarding the domestic life, of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But we're not going to play that because, the public is not worthy of that. But some people have it, But I'm going to just keep backing up this part and replaying this part for those that's coming in. Hit the like button and share this, and let's listen to it again.
I've always known that Master W.D. Farad is Allah. I believe that Master W.D. Farad is Allah, and I believe that you are his messenger. I believe that your program is right, and I believe that your teachings are right, and that it was my belief in this that made me as successful as I was. Especially it was my firm belief in this that enabled me to stand up in the face of all opposition on television, on radio, before colleges, and before people out in the street at mass rallies, and support your program and present your program and represent your program. It was my faith in it that enabled me to represent it.
So y'all hear that clearly, right? I'm gonna play it one or two more times. Why would he be saying this? Why do you think he would be saying this? I'm asking y'all. This is way before the age of AI and faking voice. This is Malcolm X in bad standing, recording an audio message to his teacher that had already silenced him and sat him down because of the JFK thing. But he's making a point to say, I've always known that Master W.D. Farad is Allah. Why would he be saying that? Anybody want to type that in the chat? Why would he specify and start up or this part of the talk or the message to his teacher with that? Anybody want to? I'm going to play it one more time.
I've always known that Master W.D. Farad is Allah. I believe that Master W.D. Farad is Allah, and I believe that you are his messenger. I believe that your program is right, and I believe that your teachings are right, and that it was my belief in this that made me as successful as I was. Especially it was my firm belief in this that enabled me to stand up in the face of all opposition on television, on radio, before colleges, and before people out in the street at mass rallies, and support your program and present your program and represent your program. It was my faith in it that enabled me to represent it.
Based on that, is much more I'm gonna play, but I just want to at least get y'all to interact with me and answer the question: did Malcolm X ever renounce Master W.D. Farad, his belief in Master W.D. Farad as Allah? We're not talking about what he said and believed about Elijah Muhammad, right? We can walk him chew bubblegum at the same time. If y'all are aware that when Malcolm X was in jail, as Detroit read, before he ever met Elijah Muhammad, he said, according to his autobiography with Alex Haley, that he had a vision experience of a man that came and sat down in his jail cell with him, and it was Master FARD Muhammad. The Spike Lee movie was wrong. They was lying. That was just fiction. They talking about it, that it was like a vision of Elijah Muhammad. No, the man that he had an experience or vision or whatever experience that showed up in his jail cell, sitting down with a smile in his face, and it didn't say nothing, just looked at him, and he looked at him and he gave a description of him. He said it was Master FARD Muhammad. He said he believes that was Master W.D. Farad that came into his jail cell. Are y'all aware of that? So before he ever met Elijah Muhammad, he had experience with this man, this vision man, in jail. And then he heard some brothers, representing Elijah Muhammad, and he put two and two together and he found out this is the man that I had that vision of when I was in jail. So he had experience with whoever he, later became, believed or knew. He said, I've always known that Master W.D. Farad is Allah. This happened before he ever met Elijah Muhammad. Are y'all aware of that? This is his words. Go to his, because we're going to go there. I'm going to show you that. This is his autobiography after he split from Alex Haley or whatever. From Elijah Muhammad, whatever he's doing with Alex Haley. He was explaining this, right? So let's play it one more time, and then we're going to let it play a little more because we want to see the receipts, anybody's receipts, not somebody's interpretation, but anybody's receipts, because Malcolm was a public speaker. Anything that was on his mind of importance, he was going to speak it, especially if he was going against Elijah Muhammad. If he was going against Elijah Muhammad, he would certainly have went against W.D. Farad Muhammad, right? He would have said something clearly that he didn't believe, or he renounced the belief in W.D. Farad Muhammad, right? Right? Because he saw a vision of him in his jail cell before he ever met or heard anything about Elijah Muhammad. So we're looking for proof, evidence, receipts, especially from this public speaker that did that the best and the loudest and the strongest, even against his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Would he have held his tongue regarding Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, who he said that he's always known and believed he was Allah? Right? So let's listen to this one more time.
I've always known that Master W.D. Farad is Allah. I believe that Master W.D. Farad is Allah, and I believe that you are his messenger. I believe that your program is right, and I believe that your teachings are right, and that it was my belief in this that made me as successful as I was. Especially it was my firm belief in this that enabled me to stand up in the face of all opposition on television, on radio, before colleges, and before people out in the street at mass rallies, and support your program and present your program and represent your program. It was my faith in it that enabled me to represent it.
Keep listening. Listen to this.
God chose the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to occupy the position of messenger, leader, and teacher for 20 million black people here in America before America was ever discovered, before you and I were ever brought here. It was written that the Lamb, that this little meek and humble man would be raised up from the so-called Negro in this day and time. Do you understand that?
I don't want to bore y'all. I don't want to play this whole thing. So let me know if y'all want me to play these receipts, because this receipt is about 10 minutes long, or I can fast forward to the part where he's specifically, teaching about the coming of and the identity and the fulfillment of who Master W.D. Farad is. What do y'all want me to do? Y'all want to just chill and me play the whole thing, or you want me to just fast forward to that part? Let me know real quick. Because in the meantime, I can go to, let me share this screen real fast, and I'll go to his description, Malcolm X's description of W.D. Farad, right? So let's go here. I'm gonna play. Okay, King Z say play it. I need three more people. If y'all, because I got to balance it out. If 2 out of 3 people tell me to play the whole thing, I'll play it. If not, I'll go straight to the end, because I know it's priceless. Play the whole thing. Hamid Shabazz. Okay, that's 2 more. I need 1 more. If 1 more person tell me play the whole thing, we're going to play the whole thing. Sean Cooper. Salute, Sean. We're going to play the whole thing. So let me read this. This is Malcolm X. Quote. It says, I prayed. This is Malcolm X talking. I prayed for some kind of relief from my confusion. It was the next night. This was in jail. As I lay on my bed, I suddenly, with a start, became aware of a man sitting beside me in a chair. He had on a dark suit. I remember I could see him as plainly as I see anyone I look at. He wasn't black and he wasn't white. He was light brown skinned and Asiatic cast of countenance, and he had oily black hair. I looked right into his face. I didn't get frightened. I knew I wasn't dreaming, but I couldn't move. I didn't speak, and he didn't. I couldn't place him racially. I couldn't tell what his race was, other than that I knew he was non-European. I had no idea whatsoever who he was. He just sat there. Then suddenly, as he had come, he was gone. I would later come to believe that my prevision was of Master W.D. FARD, the Messiah, the one whom Elijah Muhammad said had appointed him, Elijah Muhammad, as his last messenger to the black people of North America, end quote. That's Malcolm X to Alex Haley, the autobiography of Malcolm X, 1964, I guess page 215. Is that enough receipts for that? So now we're going to go back to play. Let me remove that and we're going to go back to play the whole thing.
I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say,
Present your program and represent your program. It was my faith in it that enabled me to represent it.
God chose the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to occupy the position of messenger, leader, and teacher for 20 million black people here in America before America was ever discovered, before you and I were ever brought here. It was written that the Lamb, that this little meek and humble man would be raised up from the so-called Negro. In this
and fair use, I'm not going to stop it no more. Fair use, keep in mind, this is what Malcolm taught. Malcolm taught this for 12 years. 12 years straight. And then when he split, he only lived another 11 months. He taught this, and this man for 12 years and became as successful as he said he was based on his vision and his belief in that man as being Allah. And as soon as he split from that, he didn't last but 11 months.
Day and time. Do you understand that? I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that when Master FARD was teaching, he used to listen to him. He listened to him real careful. And he noticed that whenever Master FARD was teaching, he'd be carried away. And he wasn't talking about what someone was going to come and do to the devil. But he noticed that this man was talking about what he was going to do. He didn't talk like he was looking for some help. But he talked independent. He talked like one who needed no help. He never talked like someone told him so and so, but he talked like what he knew. He was independent. He listened carefully. And he began to think back all of what he had read in the Bible about this one who was supposed to come in the last day, and about what this one would do when he come in the last day. And he said that he believed every word that fell from the lips of Master FARD. He said he never heard a word that Master FARD uttered that he didn't believe. And because he believed him, he listened to him with an open heart, with an open mind, and with open ears. Because he listened with an open heart, an open mind, and open ears, he learned what others could not. He heard what the others couldn't hear. He saw what the others couldn't see. He understood what the others couldn't understand. He looked and saw Master FARD as he was. He knew who he was. He began to teach the others there in Detroit to call him prophet. They were calling him prophet because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this man is fulfilling all prophecy. And then as he listened some more, he began to teach them to call him the Savior, because he sure is saving us from the condition that we were in. He's saving us from the clutches of our enemies. He told them that this man is the finder of the lost sheep, and he's given life to the lost sheep. They begin to refer to Master FARD as the finder and the life giver, the Redeemer. Those wherein you and I had once been taught and thought that the Redeemer was someone that was born 2,000 years ago. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad listened to the teachings of Master FARD, he could see that the so-called Negroes, the lost sheep, needed redeeming from your and my enemy. And they could see that the teachings that was coming from the lips, the mouth of Master FARD was giving us life, was redeeming us from the clutches of this devil. He recognized him as the Messiah. He knew that it was written that a Messiah would come in the last day.
So I had to stop it. He recognized him as the Messiah. Messiah is a human being, and Messiah is also the same human being that the Muslim, Sunni Orthodox Muslim world also accepts as coming with the power of Allah to destroy the wicked. But they can accept the Messiah if it comes to them, but they can't accept the Messiah if it comes to us ninjas and Elijah Muhammad. Which is shirk. If it's shirk if it comes to us, but for them it's okay.
That the Messiah was someone who would travel all over the world seeking to save that which was lost. That the Messiah was one who was to come in the last day seeking the lost sheep, seeking the lost tribes who would be found in the house of Israel. He wouldn't be seeking to find the lost tribes of the house of Israel. You got it wrong. But he would be seeking to find the lost tribes who would be in the house of Israel. America is the house of Israel. This is the house of Israel. And you and I are the sheep that have been lost in the house of Israel. Do you understand? Those old Jews, those old blue-eyed things, those aren't no lost sheep. Those things have never been lost. They got all your money. They're your landlord. They're your boss. Right or wrong? You got a Jew who is the spokesman for the president. You got a Jew who's senators in the United States Senate. Barry Goldwater is a Rick, what is his name? Rivercorp is a Dillon, the Secretary of Treasury, is a yeah, he is. His old father was a Polish cheese named Dillon, so you wouldn't know him. But our eyes are open. We see him. We know him. Oh, you can't say no is lost. He got all your money. He got his money and your money too.
This is why they had him as the number one anti, such and such might when he was alive. They didn't love him. This is why they didn't love him. He was the first one the Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to open our eyes to the small cap Satan.
How you gonna say he's lost? The Jew knows his language. He knows his own name. He knows his own flag. He knows his own people. No, you're the one that's lost. You don't know yourself. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew that the Messiah was the one who was to come in the last day. And he knew that Master FARD, the one who was teaching them, was fulfilling everything about which it had been written about the Messiah. That when it had been written that this Messiah would search the earth. He would come from the east and appear in the west. He would leave heaven and make his abode in hell. He would leave the place of peace and security and make his place and take his place in the house of bondage in the midst of his people. He would reveal himself in the house of bondage in the midst of his people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad began to teach our people in Detroit that this is the Messiah. This is the Christ who was to come. This is the one who was to come and has come. This is the one about whom the Bible refers to as the second coming of Christ. He says that Christ only means a destroyer. The word Christ. And it's true, you can look in the dictionary and it will tell you that in other languages, Christ means a destroyer. This title is given to the one who's to come in the last day because when he finds his people in the clutches of their enemies, he's supposed to save them. He's supposed to separate them from the enemy and then destroy the enemy. So they call him the Christ. He's referred to in the Bible also as the destroyer of the Gentiles. So this is what's supposed to happen in the last day when the Christ comes. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad recognized that the one who was teaching was fulfilling what it was said about the Messiah, fulfilling what it was said about the Christ, and also what it says in Muslim theology about the Mahdi. Mahdi means one who is self-guided. Don't need no advice. Don't need no guidance.
I have to stop this, fair use. So do you think Malcolm X stopped believing in Mahdi when he, or Messiah when he became an Orthodox Muslim? Did he give up, recognizing that he was that man just because he was mad at Elijah Muhammad? Did he renounce him? Because he still became a Sunni Muslim and still was believing in expecting the Messiah and the Mahdi, right? Because that's not a Nation of Islam innovation or whatever. That's from the Muslim world. So did Malcolm renounce his belief that this was the Mahdi and the Messiah?
He's self-guided. He's so wise, he guides himself. That's God. Can't nobody guide himself but God. Fulfilling what it was said about the Messiah. Fulfilling what it was said about the Christ. And also what it says in Muslim theology about the Mahdi. Mahdi means one who is self-guided. Don't need no advice. Don't need no guidance. He's self-guided. He's so wise, he guides himself. That's God. Can't nobody guide himself but God. So the Mahdi is a title of God when he'll come in the last day. The Messiah is a title for God when he comes in the last day. The Christ is a title for God when he comes in the last day. But when he comes, how will he come? That's what Jesus' disciples asked. How will he come? And Jesus answered and says, as lightning comes from the east and shines unto the west, so shall the coming of what? The Son of Man be. Think up on it now. So shall the coming of the Son of a Man. Not the son of a spirit. Not the spirit of a spirit. Not the father of a spirit. Spirit is not even mentioned. But this one, this God, is one who in the last day will be born and will come in the flesh. He'll be the Son of a Man. He's referred to as the Son of Man, but he'll be born in the east. He'll leave the east and come to the west. But he'll be God in person. He'll be Allah in person. I know that's hard to take. Oh, yeah, that's hard to take. I hear you. You say, what you mean, man? You saying that God is born? You said Jesus was born. If Jesus can be born, can't God be born? You said Jesus was God. That's what you said. It says here in the Bible, in the 9th chapter of Isaiah, for unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God. Pick up on that now.
Mighty God.
That's in the 9th chapter of Isaiah. And in the 6th verse, it says that for unto us a child is born, a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. He's going to establish a new government, a new kingdom, a new world. This is what he's born for. He'll be born at the end of the wicked world for the purpose of establishing a righteous world. In fact, he will be born to destroy the world and create a new world. And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. That's beautiful, isn't it? And of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no more, and there shall be no end. Now, you know, this couldn't have been Jesus. It said when he set up his government, there won't be no end to it. Jesus didn't get a chance to set up no government. They hung him on the cross. In fact, they nailed him to the cross. And he cried out, Lord, if there's any way I can get out of this, don't let it happen to me.
Not only did he cry out, he cried for Elijah. Cried for Elijah.
Isn't that what he did? Yes, that's what he did. They say that Jesus got so scared, the book said that the sweat come off his brow. Didn't they call the sweat blood? Yeah, he was sweating, brother. You know, you sweating when you sweat blood. You sweating when you sweat sweat. This man sweat blood. So he will be born at the end of this man's world. Be born at the end of the wicked kingdom. And he'll set up his own kingdom. A righteous kingdom. A kingdom in which he himself will be king. He himself will be the prince of princes. He'll make all his people princes. And he'll be the prince of those princes. He'll make all those who follow him kings. And he'll be the king of kings. He'll make all those who follow him lords. And he'll be the Lord of lords. He'll make all those who follow him gods. But he'll be the God of gods. Is that right or wrong? All praise is due to Allah. How will he do it? The book says when he comes and chooses one from the midst of these people, he will give that one a thorough knowledge of himself. He'll walk and talk with that one. He'll teach that one the secret of the Godhead.
Right. That one, that Messiah, that man, he'll teach him the secret of the Godhead, the secret of God. Revelations 10:7. Right? When the seventh angel shall begin to sound in that day, the secret of God should be finished. No more secret. The secret of God should be finished, as he has, promised to the prophets or whatever. He gives his secret of himself and his identity and the secret of God in man. He gives that over to the Messiah. And the Messiah uses that knowledge to wake his people up and resurrect them back into being the gods themselves. That's what resurrection means.
He will give that one a thorough knowledge of himself. He'll walk and talk with that one. He'll teach that one the secret of the Godhead. This is how it says. It says when he comes, he'll come as lightning from the east and shine unto the west. He'll creep in as lightning does under the cover of darkness. He'll come and go so fast you won't know he's been there until he's gone. Right around. You don't see no lightning. You saw lightning.
Y'all see why Malcolm was so fierce? Do we sound like he was lying? Do we sound like he was deceived? Do we sound like he didn't know what he was talking about? No, this is why he was so successful, because he was locked all the way in with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and spirit of Allah, God in person. No ifs, ands, buts about it.
Before you know what it is, it was. Same way with God in the last day. Before the people know he's here, he'll be gone. It says, behold, he'll come without observation. And he also says he'll come as a thief. He won't be a thief, but he'll come as a thief. Why he'll come as a thief? Because his people have been stolen by thieves. And his people are in the clutches of a den of thieves. His people are in a house that has been established upon thievery. Right or wrong. His people will be stolen from the east and will be found in the west. Therefore, as lightning from the east shines unto the west, God in the last day, if he wants to save his people, will have to leave the east and come into the west. And since his people have been stolen by the thieves of the west, in order for God to come into their midst and free his people from the clutches of these thieves, he has to make himself look like a thief. He has to take upon himself the appearance of one of the thieves. He can't come looking like his people. He can't come looking like his children. He can't come looking like one of the brothers. He has to come looking like the thief. So it says, behold, he cometh as a thief. He'll come as a thief, but he won't be a thief.
Come in sinful flesh to condemn sin in the flesh.
But in order to come without observation, in order to come so he won't be observed and known by the thieves, he has to come as a thief. You all understand that? No, you don't.
No, they don't.
This great man, Master FARD Muhammad.
So I just wanted to marinate on that because I'm going to play this too because they go together. So please forgive the music in the background, but this is now Minister Farrakhan elaborating on what Malcolm taught for 12 years and which is what made him so feared and great and so protected and so exalted by his teacher, which is the messenger, Messiah of Allah. And that's what made us love him because he knew the language of the Bible, the Quran. He knew the language of the suffering and the pain of black people. He wasn't faking and he wasn't deceived. He got deceived by COINTELPRO that made him think that his father, his spiritual father was plotting against him because Elijah Muhammad's biological sons was plotting against him. But the father wasn't, but the father had to let it be. He had to let Malcolm get tested and see if he was going to turn. And he turned. He got broke. He got deceived. But he didn't start out like that. Clearly, he was supposed to be the heir to the throne. He was supposed to be in Farrakhan's seat. Farrakhan even said that. He been said that, but he failed. He got deceived, he slipped, and he disqualified himself. But let's listen to Minister Farrakhan elaborate.
The thieves, he has to come as a thief. You all understand that? No, you don't.
This great man, Master FARD Muhammad, the Mahdi, he was born in 1877. February the 26th. Now, you know, if he was born in that year, then you know that he's not the originator of the heavens and the earth. So when you say your prayer, you say, surely I've turned myself to thee, O Allah. Trying to be upright to him who originated the heaven and the earth.
So I have to stop this and do a fair use because this is Digital Soapbox Network channel. This is my bro Big Steel's channel, and they're going to copyright. They're going to, it's not strike. I don't want them to strike, even though this is my music. This is me and Battlecast music. So I'm going to stop right there because I don't have a version without the music on it. It's on my Instagram page. So I'm gonna have to stop right there, and I apologize. I'm sorry because I didn't, I definitely don't want to stop this wisdom and this, but this is not my page. This is not my page, so I can't get him a strike for this copyright music. So I have to stop it right there. So, but I do want to open up the lines and let y'all talk because, well, let me pull this up because all of that has to do with this whole controversy and argument that's going on right now between Muta Bill and that Napoleon from the Outlaws and the stuff that he's been saying and how I've been responding to that. So this Malcolm. So y'all, if y'all haven't seen that, at least I could play this part because Muta was saying what he was saying, but I'm gonna replay this one more time.
Shooting at the since Malcolm deviated, he went out and armed his followers, right? And I never have taught you to arm. And you were most successful without arm and those with arm, right? Not even Martin Luther was too wise to tell his followers to arm themselves because he knew the devil would kill them. Because the devil have all the arms. You got to have a lot of arms to make a stand against him. Because if you outshoot him with rifles in this neighborhood, he'll go rope it off. He'll go and isolate this neighborhood. Then he'll get in his plane and come over and drop a little bomb on you. Or he'll sit out there and take one of his field pieces and throw some shells over y'all, right?
All of this is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad explaining to us why we don't rely on guns, why we don't carry guns, we don't carry no weapons of the devil's manufacturing. The weapon that we have to rely on is I'm gonna show you a demonstration, and I don't have the permission, but I'm gonna still do it anyway. Let's, and I'm trying to follow the so-called spiritual instruction here that I'm getting. But this says, I played this yesterday, I think. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed in 1975. FARD attempted to follow Elijah Muhammad's son, Wardeen, all the way up until around 1977. There was no NOI in 1981. It's supposed to be 81, where Brother Mutabil says members of the NOI unalived his parents. That was 1981, so that's a correction that needs to be corrected. There was no NOI, though. There was no NOI. The leader of the NOI at that time was Wardeen, was Honorable Elijah Muhammad's biological son. So, but I have to put the context that if Farrakhan was supposed to be the leader at that time, and they was going to acknowledge that he was the leader of the NOI, the resurrection of the NOI, he's still holding on to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, which is what we're listening to here about. It's absolutely forbidden to rely on guns. We don't carry guns. We don't use guns. That is not our weapon. Our weapon is not guns. We didn't use guns when he was here. We didn't use guns after he was here. Guns wasn't used by none of the followers of his. If guns were used, it wasn't by his followers, because he doesn't promote that, right? And remind me, if y'all can remember, remind me to show you this video of a demonstration of what our weapons are.
You can't do nothing. You can't throw them back at him. Or he'll come and just strafe you, with machine gun fire. Go up and down the street with his, with his plane just sliding low. You don't have one. Just strafe you all up and down the street. They're having you to come out, and then after a while you crowd for some food. He's the only one selling you food. You don't have no food stored away. Now how in the world you gonna find out people like that? When they feed, you got to eat their food. You got to wear their clothes. You got to, stay under their shelter. How can you fight them with their arms? You're going to be the loser. You're going to have your people slaughtered. That's right. I know these things in advance. He could just starve you to death. Just go and patrol your area and won't allow you to come out and nobody to go in. You can't get no help. You can't jump up and fly out of it. You don't have wings to fly. This old devil is about the strongest thing on the earth when it comes to actually, arms. He have built up a force of arms, brother, that is not equal here in Russia. So you can't fight him with that. Don't depend on fighting him with that. Find the other way. Get to Allah, who knows how to fight without artillery of his make. Now, he told me he will leave him to him. He's happy to destroy him. He said he hasn't got anything to destroy. He said take him in one day. He don't have nothing. He said we know what he have. I told him about the poison gas when they get to it. He said, we know all about that. He said, we cut a corridor in the air lane. He says the poison gas can't cross it. He said, we know how to sell. He said, we know how to stop this devil.
We know how to stop this devil. We are the masters. God is just a scientist. Gods and angels are just master scientists. They're not magicians, but their knowledge and wisdom and understanding and mastery over the forces of creation, the forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the so-called strong, weak force. There's the forces of eternal existence. That this is what gods have knowledge of. It's not magic. It's mastery. It's mastery of the knowledge of the eternal forces that creation is built on. And this is what a God is. There's grade levels of God. There's gods, and then there's the God of gods, like Malcolm said. All of us, ye are all gods. All of us have a degree of force and mastery over some part of creation or some part of our own body. But the God of gods is a human being that has that's the possessor of power over all of it, all of us, and over all of the creation. He is one with, or the fullest, the most perfected, 100% fullest expression of those eternal powers and forces and immortality of that. So that cannot be bound in just one human being for long. It's going to burn out the light bulb. Say it's like electricity. You know, that's just an example. I'm not saying it's electricity because it's us. It's the human mind with emotions and 5 senses and all of that. But that eternal, that God power can only be held or contained within a vessel, or even though this vessel is righteous and holy, but it can only be held for so long before it burns it out, right? So that's what life and death means of the physical vessel, the container or whatever. So, but let's continue.
And he told me, he said, we've been preparing for it for 60 years. He said, we're ready, brother. And the devil knows that. And there is ex-general in Pakistan, he told me the same thing. He said, we've been preparing for this devil for 60 years, 70 now. He said, now we are ready. He said, we just have to get back and make room here for you all. He said, because we're ready. He said, he's no good. He said, the only way out is just to kill him.
Say he's no good, meaning this species of humans that has contaminated the planet, the skunk of the planet Earth, and has brought nothing but hell onto the planet and contamination. He said he's no good by nature. He wasn't made to last. He was made to be destroyed, but he wasn't worthless. He was priceless in value because that's the expression, the opposite negative expression, the dormant, opposite negative expression of the God, of the original human species, the black nation of God. Our opposite expression, that negative expression, is called devil. It's called that race. They're not made to last. They can't last. They're not made to be able to last, but they are priceless because they showed and taught us, that dormant knowledge, or the Bible calls it the knowledge of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We wasn't familiar with the negative expression, the negative of ourselves. So we needed to know, how to master that. So we produced a race of people in our image and after our likeness, and gave them power to exercise that full negative nature for 6,000 years while we was put to sleep. We put ourselves to sleep mentally as the gods, and allowed them as a new God of wickedness, a new God of the opposite nature of the righteous God, to fully express themselves. And we was to study that and absorb whatever germs and wounds and, that it produced, that it did to us, because naturally we are immortal as a species, not as an individual, but as this species. The original black nation is immortal. That is Allah. That is the collective Allah. We are the cells, the bodies, the arms, or whatever of Allah. We are immortal. Individuals, it's like individual cells, are not. But they do their work, they gather their experience and their data, and they transfer their data, just like, like anything else, onto the new one. And then they allow themselves to be exfoliated or shed or get out the way or become food for the new one. But it's still the same cell. It's still the same, thing. It just shed an old form, and now it's functioning with a new form and a new younger form with the same old data. So I want y'all to understand the science, the theology of God. And this is what spooky, ignorant worshipers don't want to get into: the theology, the science of God, the science of what God is and who. When I say God, I mean Allah, who and what Allah is. So that's the part that hurts, because they have never been taught that. They don't have that knowledge, and they can't say that who they can't say who the Messiah is and who the Messiah ain't. The Messiah has that knowledge, and the Messiah is going to teach whatever people he show up to. He's going to teach that secret God, that knowledge of Allah too. So clearly he didn't show up to you. Clearly he showed up to us where the scripture said he was going to show up to. But yeah, let me play the rest of this, and then I'm going to go back and show you the weapons that we use.
Well, these scientists know these things. And that's why you hear me boast so. I know it. I know when Allah let loose the forces of nature against him, he got no defense. He can't fight that. I don't care if you have a stack of bombs, bombs, hydrogen bomb as high as Mount Everest. It wouldn't help him against that. He just have them there. No, it couldn't help him at all. So that's what Allah's going to fight him.
Allah's going to fight him with the forces of nature, the God power, the force, like in Star Wars, use the force. May the force be with you. They got that off the teachings of Master FARD Muhammad and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Steven Spielberg and all of them scientists that's in the movies, they're consultants. They study that wheel right there. They study the science of Master FARD Muhammad, the theology. They have done way more research, infinite. Well, I ain't gonna say infinite, but they know that Master FARD Muhammad is the God. They know that Elijah Muhammad is the Mahdi or Messiah. They know Farrakhan is the Messiah, pardon me. And they know that Elijah Muhammad is now a God Mahdi, self-guided.